A universe from nothing. Why there is something rather than nothing. So this is a popular science book that essentially deals with how the universe can be, how it came into existence, and how something can literally spring from nothing. At least how, in scientific terms, we currently understand it based upon all the theories that currently exist and all the empirical data that either backs up or just opens up more questions of those theories and of the whole situation. And essentially what the book says is essentially that nothing is just another form of something, although that's not entirely correct the way I just said it, but essentially that's what the book explores. And because of that, this is a hugely impressive book, very relevant to the contemporary scientific understandings we currently have and where we stand in regards to religious thinking and the idea of God. The author Lawrence Krauss is very much against there being a God and religion. He's very much of the opinion that the universe springs from nothing, and now that we understand how nothing can be, not as we typically understand nothing, but as being in the form of something, we don't need an intelligent creator. And it's a very compelling argument, and one I do agree with. Certainly, I think as a whole, human beings need to really, more and more so, come over to this way of thinking. Because the message of this book is beautiful. And before I get into that, I just want to briefly explain the content of this book, because I've read a few of these popular science books, and the problem with science, as indeed is acknowledged in this book, is it is hugely complicated and it's not easy to understand. And it does take a bit of getting your head around. And I think that's where this book succeeds, because of all the books I've read that fall into this category, Krauss is the first one that presents all of these vast ideas and does it in a way that is relatable. I can't say that I fully understand everything he's laid down in the book, but I understand enough of it in order to realise the full implications of the conclusion at the end of his book, and the questions that are answered and the ones that still remain open. So I think in terms of translating these hugely complex theories and systems to everyday Joes like myself, he's done an exceptional job. And certainly, if you do take up reading it, I would say don't feel intimidated. And don't feel like you have to understand every single facet of what he's telling to you, because he, alongside that, he gives you a good general relatable overview to work with. So if you read the whole book, you will get it. That's definitely a winning point of this book, and it'd be useful if they more popular science books were run along the same lines. But I don't know, maybe I need to practice a bit more in terms of come to terms with these vast scientific ideas. But in terms of detractions from the book, it doesn't really have any. The thing with a topic like this, as I've already mentioned there's still lots of questions. No theory is 100% accurate. Science hasn't got all the answers yet, so this is still very much an open topic. So obviously, while it's relevant, this book is relevant to what we know now, 10 years from now, it could be quite different. So you can't really fault the book for that alone. There's still plenty of questions at the end of it, and rightly so. But in essence, what the book essentially comes to, the conclusion it comes to, and that's why it's got an afterword by Richard Dawkins, who's a huge proponent of this type of thinking, is essentially that we are a part of the universe, and the universe came from nothing, and one day it will go back into nothingness. But in between those 2 points, we have the now, and we should absolutely make the most of it and live it to its full potential. And I think that's a very, very inspiring message to live your life by. and also to go into science if that's what you're interested in. You're interested in exploring the different fields he's presented in this book. I mean, he presents a very compelling case for doing so, and it will inspire you to do so. So yeah, no, I'm hugely pleased I've read this book. Highly recommend it. Very important book. We do need to overcome our reliance on religiosity. I've always said religion is just an ancient form of philosophy that we continue to take way too seriously. We need to be reading more stuff like this and exploring more stuff like this, trying to answer these questions, the ones we can quantifiably prove and the ones that quantifiably will have a beneficial effect on the quality of our lives. So I highly recommend A Universe from Nothing.